I'm going to try a sentence today, okay? Aham Navavadane Bhagavad Gitayam Satram Karomi.
Bahut samichinam.
Dhanyavad.
Excellent.
Namo Namaha.
Namo Namaha.
Namo
Okay.
Namaha.
I'll get there too. So thank you for a beautiful session, Vijayji, like always, and welcome everyone to today's edition of Daily Wisdom from Bhagavad Gita. Hope you all had a great weekend and enjoyed the Ram Navami celebrations that we had. And excited to be back. I certainly am. I always look forward to these Mondays after a little bit of a break that we get. So let's continue. A very warm welcome to all of you. If you are new to this session, I'd like to know about you. Please put it in the feedback tracker. Happy to know about you, or you can raise your hand. We'd love to know more about you. So we will continue now. We are back on chapter 3, the recap series that we are having, and we will do 3.33 today, 333, and talk about an important concept, like most of the or all of the concepts that we talk in Bhagavad Gita, right? We'll talk about habits, tendencies, and stuff like that, and what Lord Krishna is talking about that. So let's get started by invoking the blessings of God and Guru to get underway. So I'm going to share my screen, and then we will get started. All right. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Radhe Radhe. Good morning, good evening, everyone. So let's get started. So today we are on the recap series 3.33. We will get back to chapter 4 very soon to continue on our journey. We'll try to complete these key concepts as part of these recap series. So let's continue on that. Today we are going to go with chapter 3 verse 33. I'm going to recite it and then you're welcome to follow along. Sadrisham cheshtate swasyaha prakrite jnanavanapi prakritim yanti bhutani nigraha kim karishyati. All right. Who do we have the privilege of calling today? The usual suspect is missing today. All right.
Radhe Radhe Rahulji. Please go ahead.
Radhe Rahul.
Sadrishyam cheshtate swasyaha prakartirjnanavanapi prakartim yanti bhutani nigraha kim karishyati. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Very nice, Rahul. Thank you.
Dinesh ji, Radhe Radhe. Please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. Sadrusam chestate swasyaha prakrute jnanavanapi prakrutim yanti bhutani nigraha kim karishyati. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Thank you. Who's next?
SSPG. Surya Prakash ji, Radhe Radhe. Please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. Nitin ji, Sandhya ji. Sadrusham chestate swasya prakrutir jnanavanapi prakrutim yanti bhutani nigraham kim karishyati.
Very nice. Thank you.
Next is Shamji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Shamji.
Radhe Radhe. सदृशं चेष्टते स्वस्याः प्रकृतेर्ज्ञानवानपि प्रकृतिं भूतानि निग्रह किं करिष्यति. राधे राधे.
Shyamji, Radhe Radhe.
Ramesh ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Rameshji.
राधे राधे.
Radhe Radhe.
सदृशं चेष्टते स्वस्याः प्रकृतेर्ज्ञानवानपि प्रकृतिं यान्ति भूतानि निग्रह किं करिष्यति. Thank you.
Wonderful, very nice, Rameshji. Radhe Radhe. Okay, let's take the remaining 2 or 3 hands that we have.
And I would like to reiterate, please consider keeping your videos on. Also, with respect to recitation, we give preference to those who have video on.
Yes, please do that. You're earning some points for your team as well, and it's a good practice.
That's right.
Yeah.
Radhe Radhe Uday ji, please go ahead.
सदृशं चेष्टते स्वस्याः प्रकृतेर्ज्ञानवानपि प्रकृतिं यान्ति भूतानि निग्रह किं करिष्यति. राधे राधे.
Radhe Radhe.
Sumesh ji, Radhe Radhe. Please go ahead. I can't unmute you. Okay, for the time being, Sam ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Samji.
Radhe Radhe. Sadrishyam chestate swasyaha prakriti jnanavanapi prakrityam yanti bhutani nigraha kim karishyati. Radhe Radhe.
Samji, Radhe Radhe. Let's freeze the hands now so that we can get started with our session as well. So last probably 5 hands, 4 hands.
4 hands. Yes.
Last 4.
Sumesh ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Yes, Samji.
सदृशं चेष्टते स्वस्याः प्रकृतेर्ज्ञानवानपि प्रकृतिं यान्ति भूतानि निग्रह किं करिष्यति.
Very nice.
Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Okay, Riya ji. Riya ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Yeah.
Thank you. Radhe Radhe. सदृशं चेष्टते स्वस्याः प्रकृतेर्ज्ञानवानपि प्रकृतिं यान्ति भूतानि निग्रह किं करिष्यति.
Very nice, Riya ji. Radhe Radhe.
Aparna ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. सदृशं चेष्टते स्वस्याः प्रकृतेर्ज्ञानवानपि प्रकृतिं यान्ति भूतानि निग्रह किं करिष्यति.
Wonderful. Very nice, Aparna ji. Okay. Last but not the least, Sandhya, go ahead.
सदृशं चेष्टते स्वस्याः प्रकृतिर्ज्ञानवानपि प्रकृतिं यान्ति भूतानि निग्रह किं करिष्यति.
Very nice. Thank you, Sandhya. So in this shloka, Lord Krishna is saying, in previous one, he had said that those who do not have faith in these instructions, they bring about their own ruin. And when ruin means not miseries in this world, that is the one thing, one aspect of it, which anyway, everybody gets subjected to in some form or manner. But ruin means keep rotating in this material world. Okay, that whole cycle that we are subjecting ourselves to, 8.4 billion and back again and back again and back again, is what he's calling ruin in that case. Okay. Now in this one, he's saying, see, Lord Krishna, he's a master psychologist as well. So if you go through the Bhagavad Gita teachings, it's like get to know yourself, how your mind works. He's telling you how your mind works, right? That itself is pretty aha moment, somebody telling us how your mind operates. Isn't it so fascinating? I mean, we have no clue about what are the dynamics which are dictating our day-to-day behavior. Our thought process, our actions, our habits, our sanskars, and so many things are happening at a very subtle level. So he's simply telling you, just look at it and understand how it's happening. The beauty of this whole thing is that we can actually assume witness consciousness and see it unfolding, this drama unfolding in front of us, including that of our own mind. That means we are not this mind. Something which is mine cannot be me. There is a difference between me and mine. So now here Lord Krishna is saying, he's going to talk about our natures here. So in this shloka, he's saying, even wise people act according to their natures. For all living beings are propelled by their natural tendencies. What will one gain by repression? Now he's giving a he's so simply he's telling that. And when you think deeply enough, you'll understand this is essentially happening with all of us. We are actually driven by our tendencies and our nature. We are born with a certain nature, and then we acquire certain nature because of our situation, circumstances as well. But there are certain inherent traits that we are born with. Within the same family, you may have twins who have exactly the same parents, exactly the same upbringing, situation, circumstances, and yet have different propensities, tendencies. That can happen. Where is it coming from, right? So everybody has a natural tendency and they are compelled by it. It's not easy to overcome that tendency because that is how our mind works. So let's look at this concept a little deeper, and then what do we do if that is the case? Okay, so let's talk about it. So today we are going to talk about, if you look at a boat in a sea, it is being governed or given a direction by its sail, right? Sail is driving it basically. And you can adjust the sail according to the wind so that you keep progressing in the direction that you need, right? So those are called gunas, but we'll not go too deeper into that concept. The other aspect that we're going to talk about, look at these bicycle that you ride, right? Two wheels, one is your habit and one is your tendency that is driving us. And that is what we are going to talk about today. Can we suppress the immense force of our habit and tendencies born out of our gunas? Okay. So Lord Krishna is saying, what will one do by repressing it? Because you are almost having an OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, or following your habits and tendencies. Okay. And where do they come from? Is it something God does a eeny, meeny, miny, mo, or a Russian roulette and says, all right, you have this tendency, you have this, this, and that's it? No, it doesn't work like that. Okay. There's a method to this apparent madness, which may seem to be so, but there is not. So let's move on. Let's talk about this topic today. So Lord Krishna is coming back to the point about action being superior to inaction. Okay. Now, if you look at it, he's talking about that we act in accordance with our nature and tendencies, which is fine. That's what he's going to tell us. Okay. So the point here is, again, he's talking about resort to action. Resort to action as per your gunas, as per your nature, as per your tendency. Okay, he's telling you to do that. Now, does that mean if your tendency is to commit a crime or do something destructive or something harmful, then you continue to do that? If you look at it as well, what Lord is saying, he's saying you cannot do much by repressing it. So you are actually in more kind of an autopilot mode with regards to how you work or operate in accordance with your tendencies and habits. But then there is another catch there. Okay. Now he's saying that, first of all, action is important. Okay. It's superior to inaction. This instruction is very clearly stating everywhere. So spirituality is not about giving up everything, take a sannyas, wear saffron, and do nothing. It's about doing work in the right consciousness. Okay. That is what spirituality is. People think spirituality means take a sannyas. Of course not. It is a call to action in a proper consciousness, not call to inaction. So action is superior to inaction. That we have spoken about this concept multiple times. Let's firmly ingrain it in our heads. Okay, that is the key thing. Action is superior to inaction. If you shun your responsibilities under the pretext of spirituality, then it will lead us to doom. Lord Krishna has categorically stated, if you do that, it will take you to nether regions. Okay, so inaction is not an option at all. We should shun inaction. Let's move on. So even inertia, like if you look at part of inertia that I'm not going to do anything, it doesn't lend itself well even in the material world. So for your material progress, as well as your spiritual progress, you have to overcome that inertia that your mind will keep on presenting to you from time to time. Oh, too much of it. Why should we do it? You know, it's very tough. It's very burdensome. Who has seen, life after death and all these principles? I'm not going to stretch and my imagination beyond a point and all that stuff. Your mind will play tricks. But Lord Krishna is saying, inertia, you have to shake it. Even to progress in material world, in your studies, or to do well in your profession, you have to shed inertia. Inertia is something which is just not good. Slothness or laziness that it comes to, right? So that means procrastination and all that stuff is not good. So state of inertia does not lend itself either to material or spiritual achievement, very clearly. And I've done a typo here on material. So, and for the why do we need to swing ourselves to action? For the progress of our own soul, we should embrace the duties that help elevate and purify our mind and intellect. Now, why do we need to embrace spirituality? If one were to define it in one line or one sentence, it is the exercise or the drill that you take up to purify your mind and intellect. That's all. Nothing. Spirituality is all about purifying it. People say we don't believe in God, then do the next best thing, become good. In order to become good, still you have to purify your mind and intellect. So there is no escape from it. Okay? There's no plan B as such. Universe will compel you to improve yourself, no matter what. Unless you improve yourself, you will keep on suffering. It's very simple principle. And this is why this whole creation is done. And God does not lose hope on us, saying enough of it. Okay, you will not eat. No, I have firm faith. You will learn your lessons because you are my divine fragmental parts and I have full faith in you. So he'll keep on giving us opportunities until we improve and purify our mind and intellect. And that is why we need to embrace action to continue on this journey and not procrastinate thing, right? There's this saying from Sant Kabir also, Kal kare so aaj kare so ab, pal mein parle hoegi, bahuri karega kab. So I don't know how to rhyme it in English. So I did a lame attempt on this, right? Tomorrow's work do today, today's work now. If the moment is lost, the work be done how, right? So the point here is we have to focus on it and prioritize it if you have to do that. Now these days, basically a bhautikvadi or somebody who wants to take it easy, they have given another version to it. They say, Kal kare so parso kar, parso kare so narso, right? Aaj kare so kal kare so parso, itni bhi kya jaldi, yaro, zindagi hai barso, right? That's not the point. Zindagi is not barso because procrastination is something that does not lend itself well to our material growth as well. If we keep on procrastinating, let's assume we have 500 years or 1000 years to live, right? Still, you have to wake up one day and break that habit, right? Even in 950th year, you still have to break that habit someday. How much long you will prolong. So it's a mindset thing more than a limitation of time itself. Okay. So let's move on. Now this is us, the soul, okay, not the body. And then we have a mind, intellect, right? We have seen this a lot of times. Now, what Lord Krishna is saying is, until the mind and intellect reach a state where they are absorbed in God consciousness, physical work performed in any attitude of duty is very beneficial for one's eternal purification. See, this whole drill is about taking us to a state where our mind is completely absorbed in God. Until we reach that stage, we have to do our duties because those are the ones which are leading us to that purification. When you do your work, when you do it well, that will result in purification as well. So do your material duties. That is a stepping stone to something higher. And that is why Lord Krishna is talking about science of doing work, right? And he's saying that you do work in a manner that you're not doing it for your own sake. All the duties that you continue to do that. In fact, do it to the best of your abilities, whether you're studying, whether you're in a family life, whether you are in a professional life, do it to the best of your abilities, but tweak the consciousness where you are doing it for the pleasure of God. Okay. When you do that, it will anyway keep us taking a step closer to that consciousness that he's talking about. Yes, Monica, you had a question?
Not a very good question, Nitinji, but then it's not for me, but then I'm sure that many people are in this situation, because I was talking to one of my friends today, and then in the morning, and then we were talking about the same principle, but then she happened to ask me that what if people around you try and take advantage of this thing, that you will anyways do your best because you have that maturity or that clarity. So how do we behave with those kind of people?
It's contextual. I mean, let's get to that question. So when people pull you down, do we get down to their level or do we raise our game further? Okay, that probably boils down to that, right? Let's talk about, maybe it's a little contextual. So, and see basically what is it that can be limiting and why do we feel somebody will take advantage? You are basically like a mountaineer who's trying to become a better version of himself or herself every day. Why would people take advantage? In what scenario? Because you will do it in a certain way, whatever you do. You will leave your signatures to that work or endeavor that you undertake. Why would you feel somebody is taking advantage of that? Let's talk about it, this concept, and maybe put it in perspective given the context that we are talking about. Okay, so we'll get back to that. Let's go through this theory first of all. So here are our senses, 5 senses. And the Vedas, the duties, if you look at it like, the duties are like the mom. The material duties that we do, they discipline their mind and senses. So these prescribed duties are given in our Vedas for humans to help them discipline their mind and senses. Okay? So when we continue to discipline it, eventually we'll reach that consciousness where we start questioning who are we doing it for, and then when we start doing it for the pleasure of God, of course it's going to purify it. But the first step is to tame our senses, where you are not even running it wild, where it's saying take it easy, procrastinate, laziness, run away from your duties and stuff like that. That is a strict no-no. All right. Now we can see even the animals, if you look at the species, right? Ants, they are social creatures. They bring food for the community while forsaking it themselves, quality that is difficult to find in human society. How ants, how hard they work. And it's more for the community, especially when the season is going to be unfavorable coming up. They also act according to their nature only. You said ant, okay, too much of work you have done, okay, why don't you take some rest? They'll continue to do that. Even cows, if you look at it, it has such an intense attachment for its calves that the moment it goes out of the sight, the cow, it starts feeling disturbed. It is also acting in accordance with its nature. Even dogs, they display the virtue of loyalty to depths that cannot be matched by the best of humans. So each species is acting in accordance with its own nature, right? Even the fruits, for that matter, the seeds and all that stuff, they also act in accordance with their nature only. Right? If it is a lemon, it will give lemon. If it is an orange, it will give orange. Right? Just to have fun, orange tree will not give lemon one day. They are perfectly scripted to act in accordance with their nature. So that is how the creation is done, and humans basically are no exception in that sense. However, we do have a higher ability even to tweak our nature. Other species don't have it. Plants don't have it. That is why human birth is considered very precious. We can tweak our nature, we can observe our nature, and we can do something about it. We can dovetail our nature. Animals don't have that. They will just work as per the script that they are endowed with, okay? Because they don't have free will. Now let's move. So it's like the sail guiding the ship. Propelled by the natures, people are inclined to act in accordance with their individual modes. What are these modes? These are called sanskars, tendencies and impressions of endless past lifetimes. Now, getting back to the question, where is this nature coming from? These tendencies are the impressions because of our endless past lifetimes. Every thought that you have had in your mind, that you have energized, it's like that stamp. You've seen the stamp in the office, they put a stamp and then that is sealed when you get it notarized or something. So every thought is like that stamp. It is leaving an impression, and that becomes fed, that is fed to our subconscious and becomes our sanskar. Okay, so every thought, we got to be very careful. It's like a garden that we are cultivating. Those will become our sanskars. And that is why there's a, Swamiji has a beautiful even lecture on, you can actually reprogram your subconscious and mindset as well. The self-talk, the chatter that continues to go on, the quality of that chatter has to be improved. We all do a self-talk throughout the day. Okay, sometimes you assume witness consciousness, see what you're talking to yourself. We all do that. And that talk is actually programming our subconscious. Some people will keep saying how messed up my life is, and this is also bad, that is again, why does it happen to me? And if you're just talking like that, you're actually uh, programming your subconscious, which will essentially will become your sanskars in the lifetimes to come. And also you might be deepening your sanskars as well. So the quality of that chatter, if we improve it consciously, then we can improve our sanskars as well. Otherwise, our sanskars will keep on deepening, because anyway, you have sanskars to think in a certain way. And if you simply keep on doing that, then they will keep on deepening. So that is one sanskars. That is where these tendencies and impressions of, and then the individual traits of their minds and intellects. Now, mind and intellect, of course, in this life, you get that. You have certain sanskars that you are born with. But then, because of the free will, you can train your intellect as well. Now, what is it that you are feeding your intellect? What kind of knowledge are you feeding? Are you feeding the knowledge that is, freely available all around the world on Google and stuff like that, and those kind of things which may or may not be true? If you are just feeding yourself knowledge based on people's opinion and their own perceptions about the world around it, then it could be a little tricky. So that also contributes to our sanskars for the future. Where are our sanskars coming from? The thoughts that we have harbored in the past. What we harbor right now will become our sanskars for the future. And the prarabdha karma of this life as well. So these are the three things that basically dictate our habits and nature, or our tendencies. Okay, prarabdha karma, this is an interesting one. This is the destiny aspect of it, which does not completely control, but has a certain influence on our lives. That doesn't mean we become fatalist, because we will never come to know whether it is because of our prarabdha or because of our free will that we have exercised in this life. Right? For example, if a negative thought comes very naturally to you, or if somebody has a predisposition to a particular disease, whether it is because of our karma, our prarabdha, or whether it is because of our current choices, we will never come to know. So rather than becoming fatalist, thinking that it is written in my destiny and become negative about it, what is recommended is to focus on what is in hand, the purusharth aspect of it, where you do your best in that situation, align to those principles, the higher principles, and leave things to God beyond that. Okay, so these are the three things. So, and then the people, they find it difficult to resist this force of habit and nature. It's very difficult to resist that. Okay, you would see that. See, if let's say you have people in a jail, three people, they get into a jail. One of them is a businessman. One of them was a scholar. They all committed petty crimes or whatever like that, right? Anything can happen. When they get into a jail, they will still be driven by their tendencies. The guy who's a businessman might start doing a little bit of here and there, let's do that, and start some kind of a small business within the jail itself, how to double the money or how to pass on the transactions here, and then mind will be like that only. And if somebody who's been studying and all, he will find two or three people, sit here, and they'll start giving the gyan, to those three or four people. That means we are driven by our tendencies only. I'll bring in the shlokas, I think, in today's session or tomorrow's, where Lord Krishna is telling Arjun, you are saying that if the end goal is to realize God, why to go through the drill of fighting this war? Why should I not simply renounce action, take sannyas, and realize God? Do meditation on God only and realize God himself. So Krishna said, no, you will still be compelled by your nature. Why? Because you are a kshatriya. And even if you go to forest, you will find some tribals here and there, form a small army and start fighting wars with the neighboring jungles and states. And finally, so you will be compelled by your nature. It's important to understand that, because the reason that gets us here, there is a lot of baggage around it. It's not that the way we are made or the way we are born It has happened just like that. It has happened for a reason. You have certain sanskars. There's a reason why you are where you are. So first understand that, honor that, and then do something about it. And what that something is, let's talk about it. So our nature, okay. So what he's saying is, this is what's driving us. Okay, our nature and habits, like you see in these two wheels, which you, of course, you are in an autopilot mode. So, which is there, scriptures are saying, they're not asking to give up all the works or engage in pure spirituality, saying it will create a very unstable situation. It's like putting a brake to the bicycle. Such artificial repression would be counterproductive. The proper and easier way to spiritual advancement is to utilize the immense force of habit and tendencies and dovetail it in the direction of God. Very simple. You just dovetail it. Simple. First, understand your nature and then dovetail it in the direction. You can serve God with anything. If you are a good singer, you can sing bhajans, you can narrate glories of God. If you are a good cook, you can render your service in cooking meals for God. If you are a good at teaching, why don't you start teaching people the principles around it. So anything and everything can actually be dovetailed towards God. In Arjun's case, he's saying you are a kshatriya, dovetail your because you're a kshatriya, you're a warrior, now fight a war for the pleasure of God. Krishna is saying do it because it's needed at this point. So utilize your skill. Don't say I'm going to do something else, I'm going to turn away from it, because even if you want, you cannot. Your nature, you are impelled by it. And if you start struggling, I need to copy somebody else, I don't need to be doing this, you are setting yourself up for disaster. There was a donkey and a dog, and donkey used to work very hard every day, and dog used to simply bark at night. The donkey said, what, I should be like dog, because the master gives all the love to the dog, not to me. I work so hard throughout the day, and this guy simply barks at night and gets all the love and affection. So next day the donkey starts barking in the night, okay, like the dog does, and rest is history. And what the master would have done with the donkey, that. So we need to focus on our nature as opposed to copying somebody else, because our nature is so strong, it will actually impel you. And whatever you are good at, we can render service, we can actually dovetail it towards God. Right? There's no limit to creativity in what we can't. If we're good at technology, so many things we can do. So rather than repressing it and trying to copy somebody else, it's important to first acknowledge, understand it, and then dovetail it towards God. So what he's saying is, we have to be spiritual ascent from where we stand. So this guy is where he stands, he needs to know where the map is. And it requires, we have to first accept our present condition of what we are and then improve on it. That is the whole idea. That brings us to a little bit of a discussion point, which says, okay, Sandhya, you had a question. Let's take that quickly. It's better to act in accordance with your nature than copy someone else. Yeah.
K. Ganpriya ji have asked a question. Can we change our tendency in due course intentionally? Like businessman wants to become Gyani, can he?
It's a very good question. The reason for that is, for most part, we are in an autopilot based on our gunas. We spoke about this concept. I'll briefly touch upon it again. However, you do have an ability of free will. So if your tendency is harming you, it is detrimental for your spiritual growth. Let's say, for example, your tendency is having a negative mindset for everything, right? Even before you start thinking about something, worries start coming. You worry, negativity, something bad is going to happen. Then with knowledge, you can change it because you have the free will. So it's important to work on our sanskars, which are not good for us. If they are sanskars, which you are good at, utilize it for the service of God, utilize it for seva. But if there are sanskars which are troubling your mind, right? Unnecessary worrying, anxieties, negative thinking, thinking bad about others, envy, and then thoughts which are not noble or uplifting, then we can consciously work on them. So we have that choice all the time. We can reprogram our sanskars for future as well. God has given us that ability. That is why human birth is very, very important, right? It is considered very precious. I hope I answered your question, but I'll go a little more deeper into that concept. Yes, Abhishek, you had a question too?
Yeah, and I also have another question after Abhishek will ask.
Yeah.
Abhishek ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Yes, Radhe Radhe.
So I have the tendency to eat sweets. So how can I dovetail that?
Acting sweets basically. See, that is where we have to. You could eat sweets basically for, the prasad. You can limit yourself for that, but then with knowledge you can beat that, right? Sugar, if we take a lot of, we all have, most of the people have sweet tooth. Even I have hard time, and especially there are besan ke laddu and stuff like that. But then with knowledge we can, try to curb it, because see, if we have to survive long, if we have to serve long, then we have to take care of our body as well. And the taste tongue is the most vulnerable part of it. And sugar is the poison for us in long run. It's not only bad for our immunity, it brings down our immunity. But if you speak to an oncologist right now, it will say the leading cause of cancer in the world is sugar right now. So why do we unnecessarily want to give ourselves added sugar when the food that we eat and fruit that we eat is already replenishing the sugar in our body? And if even after that you're not convinced, read Swamiji's golden rules for life, what he's talking about sugar there, okay? I've put some of those notes just to tell myself, see, whenever you give a sugar rush to your body, your insulin, production has to be increased to neutralize it. And all of our organs, they are endowed with a certain ability to work at in a certain time only. So if we are giving them overwork, it is causing hinsa to them, and after a while they stop working, and then we start complaining. So with intellectual this thing, we try to tame our senses that, okay, I'll do it, I'll moderate it, maybe as a prasad only. And it's a self-discipline that we have to enforce. Even I have a struggle, I desist from sugar, and then one day it's like, before I realize it, I have gobbled. So with knowledge, we can beat it, and we have to give ourselves enough reasons for that. Why we want to do that. Why has to be clear. See, if I want to serve, then I better need to take care of my body as well and have longevity around it, right? So if tomorrow my teeth have a lot of cavities, then all the problems can start, right? So give yourself enough reason so that you say, okay, I'm going to moderate it. That's the only way. So much of knowledge.
Like kind of we need to force ourselves to stop it, like, right?
With knowledge, when the why is, right? Without knowledge, when the why is not clear, it forcefully, willpower is like a muscle. You will exhaust it after a while. But when the why power has kicked in, then it becomes easy. And habit is something, once you develop it, then it becomes an autopilot mode. There is I was seeing a video, there's a guy, they just gave up eating sugar. And he said after, I don't know how many, 6 or 8 months, even if they tried to eat sugar, they could not. So people actually get to that stage. I wish I could do that one day as well. You cannot. And they try, they go with stuff without sugar. I mean, such a good spot to be in. Sugar, if you take it off your life, one body will say thank you to you. Because it's just not good for us. Whatever we get from grains, rice, fruit is good enough for us. On top of it, when we add more, it's not good. It's very, very dangerous for us. It's a poison for our body. Okay. So
yeah, it's like in normal days I can control, but whenever I feel low, then to get out of it, I take support of like eat something so that I can feel better and then start again.
Start eating a fruit in that case. Even I struggle, there's certain laddus and all I can't resist. So, but we need to work on that. Okay.
Just to add, this topic, I guess, attracted a lot of people. I'm receiving so many chat messages.
Yes, let's hear from
You're not
people what are the
alone.
things where they feel they are in an autopilot mode. They feel very vulnerable. We cannot, because that's what our habits take us, right? There was a guy who used to sell oil, right? All the oils, cooking oils. So there was a guy who comes to him and he used to sell oil. So the guy, there's a guy who he goes to a Jaggerin shop and says, you know what, give me 2-liter Jaggerin in this bottle. This guy says, no, Jaggerin is not 2-liter, it is 2 kgs. And you don't need a bottle for that. Okay. So then again he comes, he said, okay, give me 2 kg Jaggerin in this bottle. He said, why don't we switch places? You come and I'll explain you. I'll tell you how to come. He said, okay, I'll take your place here. So this guy sits there. Now this Jaggerin guy comes. He said, this is how you say. You say, give me 2 kgs Jaggerin. So this guy asks, have you brought the bottle? So the point is, that is how our tendencies and nature work. It's so ingrained in us, we can't help it. So God is saying, it's okay. If it is not detrimental to your spiritual growth, it's okay, understand where you are and dovetail it. But if it is detrimental to your spiritual growth or it's detrimental to your body, then, do something about it. You have a free will. That is why we are endowed with free will. So dovetail it or work on it. You can always tweak it. That choice is always with us. Yes, quite a few hands. Let's take the other questions, or anybody who wants to share, the things that they struggle with and what they have done to come out of it. I would love to hear about that. Also, things that they are good at and they have been able to dovetail it seamlessly towards seva or towards God. Both, I would love to hear from you. Like Shyamji is so good at coordinating stuff. He became a captain of the team. He was able to seamlessly dovetail it, right? Monica ji did that as well. So we'll talk about it. By the way, our evaluation and we are going to talk about Wednesday and Thursday. So look out for that. We are preparing our assessment right now. So talk through that. So, and the next set of assignments that Seva teams can take up. Yes, let's hear from other participants.
Can I quickly ask my question?
Sure. Please go ahead.
So, as it says, it is better to act in accordance with our nature. So for that, first thing is to identify what is our nature. And at times, distinguishing between what is it that I'm better at versus what is it that I find easy to do can get a little tricky. Do you want to kind of say something about it?
What am I better at? What do I find easy to do? See,
Well, what I'm good at versus what is it like I'm doing?
I'll go by what Swamiji says in this regard. He says that always try to become a better version of yourself, okay? And how it will happen is you have to, if you are here, right? If you are here and your ability is this much, then you take a little more than that, okay? Little more than what you think you are capable of doing. Because if you take something which is way above your ability, then it can demoralize you and even break you and exhaust you. And if you're taking way lower than your ability, then it will make you complacent in life, lazy. Can do it, okay, not a big deal. So he said always law of incremental growth is the only way you can become a better version of yourself when you know this is what you can do easily. But then you'll take a little bit of a stretch goal. When you take a stretch goal, your baseline is established here. Then you take a stretch goal, then it is here, then here. So that is a little bit of stress is needed. Divine stress is needed for us to grow. Because if you don't take that, we are stagnated or we become complacent. So that's a fine line we have to define for ourselves, especially if we want to keep on having an incremental growth and improve. Not take it way beyond our ability, nor way low than our, what we are capable of. Both are not good. A little bit more, and then that's how we keep on progressing. Now, if it's easy for you, it's better to take a stretch goal rather than take up something which is super easy for you. Take a bit of a stress, okay? That ability to take a little bit of, like, Seva teams took a bit of stress and see the wonderful output. It came out finally, and they were so happy that, it just happened. That thing is needed. And if we can take it without, it's the best thing that we can do, because now we are taking a step forward. And super easy is always the case, right? And then you balance it out, how many such things you can take. If you have 10 things to do, then of course you create a basket for yourself, 3 easy things, 4 medium and 1 stretch goal maybe. Then it's all shuffling around your priorities given the limited time that you have. Okay. Yes.
I'll move ahead. Shashi ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Shashi ji.
Radhe Radhe, Nitin ji. I have a question. When you are doing sadhana, everything is going smoothly, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, you get some kind of negative thought in your mind, right? So you feel very bogged down by that thought, even though you are not planning to think like this and all that. And then it bothers you, even though Swamiji says turn it to positive, but sometimes some thoughts, how you can turn to positive when they are so disgusting. And if they come out like that, are you going to be bonded with that kind of thought in future, or what you need to do as a sadhak?
I don't know. I mean, Swamiji has in Power of Thought books, he's spoken about this topic, that our mind is a factory of thoughts, right? 6,000 thoughts every 60,000 60,000 thoughts. Yeah, I missed 10. 60,000 thoughts per day. Now it will do its job. Mind will, like a factory, will keep on generating thoughts. Whether you choose to energize that thought or not is your choice, right? So if thought has come, negative thought has come, you reject it. Okay, I'm not going to take it. Or you have a choice, I'm going to energize it. Energize it means I'm going to dwell upon that thought for more than 13, 15, 20 seconds, or maybe an hour. Then you are making a conscious choice. And when you're making a conscious choice, of course, it will become a mindset, right? You are feeding your sanskars in that case. If you don't energize it, then it's not even a karma, because mind, until we improve the quality of our mind, it will continue to generate weeds also. But are you giving water, sunlight, nutrients to that weed or not is your choice. So for a sadhak, as I understand, that's where we bring in discrimination. That, you know what, this wave that has come to my feet, I don't need to surf it. I just need to reject it. Because if I surf it, I'm actually depleting my punyas and building sanskars for the future that I'll have to climb over. It's like you are digging something for yourself, and then finally you only have to climb over it. So why would you do that? So with knowledge, I
One
think
second, Nitinji, if you feel bad about that thought, that is also, giving importance to that thought
yes,
by
you
feeling
don't
bad.
have to. Swamiji said so. There was a lady who said, you know what, Swamiji, what kind of thought came to my mind? He said, what? She said, I have a little baby and I felt like banging that baby to the, that negative thought came. She didn't have that intention, but mind is like that, it can create anything. But then you reject it, knowing that our mind is of infinite lifetime, can generate anything. So just reject it rather than dwelling upon it. Because if you feel guilty about it and then walk down and spend another day or 1 hour, that is a time, it is an opportunity cost of not thinking about Krishna lovingly. Then it's a wasted time. That time will not come back. So there's no point in thinking about it. Just let it go.
Okay, got it. Thank you, Nitinji.
No
Radhe
worries.
Radhe.
Yeah, that's what Swamiji, I think, has spoken about this topic. So he said, move on quickly. Don't dwell upon something. Now, first of all, mind came and now you're energizing it and now you're dwelling upon. How is it helping? And that moment lost is moment lost that could have spent in devotion of Krishna, right? Or God. Okay.
Wonderful. Yeah, Kumarji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, Kumar.
Radhe Radhe, everyone. So this, I just thought I would share my thought, which helped me. Of course, human beings, it's very difficult, right? We are carried over by desires and greed and all that stuff. So, my favorite sweet used to be rasgulla, right? So I could never stop eating it. Or I mean, if it's there in a party, I got to eat it, right? And then, of course, I had a health issue. So that's what stopped me. At the time, the way I did it, of course, if people can do it before they have health issues, great. But what helped me was, I said, this thing here is totally something bad for my health, right? It's pure sugar. It's not going to do anything good for me. It's my enemy kind of a thing, right? It was like dvesh, but in a nice way, because I want to keep this body right. So I don't want that. And so, now I don't eat any sweet at all. And I don't feel bad about it as well. So similarly, namkeen used to be my favorite, any namkeen for that matter. And that one was a bit difficult because it doesn't have sugar. That's what I thought, right? But it's still bad because it's usually fried and all that stuff. So for that, I had a different solution. Out of sight, out of mind, right? Don't even buy it. Don't keep it in the pantry. And sometimes I even threw things out as well, which is very difficult for me to do if it's a namkeen. But that's how I could get over it. But if someone can do it when their health is really good, nothing like it.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Right.
Radhe Radhe.
Sorry, thank you so much, Kumarji. In fact, some saints, there are some stories, references Swamiji makes in his lectures. He was talking about, I think, one of the saints, he had a lot of fascination for apple. Okay, I think Ramakrishna Paramahansa or somebody. So he said he kept the apple in front of him and see it rot. He said, okay, I'm going to challenge my willpower on it. And one had a lot of attraction, affinity towards money. So he said, taka mati. He would just put it in mud, that's those coins, and see it's like it's all mud only finally. So different people, they try different things, so that they can overcome their affinity. So whatever works for us. And if we can strengthen our willpower around some of these things, nothing like it. See, I'm telling you that story, Swamiji says, right? The power of our intellect. You might be fond of rasgulla, and let's say you are fasting, or a gulab jamun, and you are about to break your fast, and all through your fast you were thinking about, okay, I'm going to have that hot gulab jamun immediately after the fast, nothing like it. And then somebody serves it to you as well, and you're about to break your fast, and the moment you are about to put it in your mouth, dreaming that's the best thing I'm going to have after a long day of fast, somebody tells you there's poison in it, you'll immediately throw it. So we have the ability to detach our mind immediately to something when our intellect says it's not good for us. It's about convincing our intellect that why, once it's strong enough, then automatically it'll go. Until that happens, of course. See, tomorrow, if doctors see, the people say that it's difficult to do that. If doctor says we give you 1 month, if you don't do that, prepare to move, make an exit from this world. We'll leave our work and all the things that we are interested, because we want to take care of our life and our body, right? So that is a forced situation to be in. So, but some people are able to preempt it just through their willpower and why power. And that's where I think the smartness is. Easier said than done, but I think it is doable. Yes, a few more hands. Aarti ji has raised hand after a while today. Let's hear from her, and then we can go to Falguni ji as well, and Prabhat. Yes, Aarti ji, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe Aarti ji.
हरिओम राधे राधे नितिन जी
Om
संध्या
Radhe
जी
Radhe.
मैं ये जो टॉपिक चल रहा है ना, मतलब बहुत ही लाइक थोड़ा सरफेशियल लेवल पे ही है कि चलो छोटी छोटी की स्वीट पसंद है ये। आई हैव मतलब मुहावरे तो आपने ये सुने होंगे, कुत्ते की पूंछ टेढ़ी की टेढ़ी, बंदर कितना भी बुरा हो जाए गुलाटी मारना नहीं छोड़ता। हम सब कहीं ना कहीं कोई एक बैड हैबिट ऐसी होती है जिसको टोटली रिवर्स करना चाहते हैं और उस पर काम भी करते हैं, राइट? ट्रैकर रखते हैं ये, लेकिन एट सर्टेन पॉइंट वी आर नॉट एबल टू ओवरकम इट, एनहिलिएट इट कम्प्लीटली, यू नो। इवन समटाइम्स लाइक वी से द 3 स्टेट्स, हम लोग अपने ड्रीम में वो चीज़ करने लग जाते हैं। मे बी वेकिंग स्टेट में नहीं करे, पर ड्रीम में वो आ रहा है। हम अच्छे खासे टाइम तक कुछ नहीं करते हैं, वी आर फॉलोइंग अ गुड हैबिट, बट सडनली वी आर डूइंग द रॉन्ग थिंग अगेन। तो इसमें हम कैसे रिवर्स करें, क्योंकि लाइक उसे हम उसको कैसे कर सकते हैं?
Very true, Aarti ji. I think a very, very important and relevant question you asked. That is because what we are doing superficially. I think you used the right word. The seeds are still there. And the day that seeds will get sunlight, air, water, nutrients, conducive, conditions, those will start sprouting again. I'll tell you a story of one of my uncles. He's a Vedanti. Okay, he reads Bhagavad Gita end to end every day, and he's been doing it for the last 40 years. Okay, he stopped drinking. He used to have social. He was a social drinker, kind of every evening, little bit of this. And once his daughter asked him, "Why do you drink?" He felt so bad. He just quit. And for 15 years, he did not drink. And then what happened? He had to go abroad. So he boarded a plane, and then he was given first class seat, and there was another guy who was sitting right next to him. And this guy, who had never drunk before in his life, just because it was available free, he started drinking, and smoking. And he thought, okay, this guy who's never drunk and all that stuff, something happened, and he started drinking there. And he acknowledged, he told that the story to us in one of our Bhagavad Gita sessions only. So he said, that day I realized that those seeds were still there. Like you said, Aarti ji, we may even start doing it in our dreams. Seed was still there. They were just dormant because you had just superficially or through your willpower controlled them. But the day they came back again, and it was surprise for him. He thought he had overcome that weakness, but he was actually taken by surprise. So the technology is to burn the seeds. And seeds will be burnt when you improve the quality of your mind. And the quality of our mind will improve when you attach things to God. If you are superficially doing it through your willpower and all that stuff, your mind is still in world. Those seeds are still there, but they are just dormant. The only way to burn the seed is to attach it to the all pure. When you do bhakti, when you do devotion, when you do it for the pleasure of God, God will burn those seeds for you. Even if you are surrounded by those things, after that, it will not affect you. And the only way to do that is by improving the quality of your mind, by attaching it to all pure. That is why devotion, and even more important, that is the silver bullet, or the, pop in that pill of devotion and everything will start falling in place. Right? So other practices are treating the symptoms. Bhakti is hitting the root cause. It will burn the seeds forever. You will grow out of it. Even if the same thing comes in front of you, you would reject it without having to exert your willpower. A lot of people, a lot of examples have seen where people just grow out of stuff that they were so habituated to, it was causing problem in their life, in their family life and other things. But after a while, they just grew out of it and they just lost interest all. How did it happen? That can happen when a quality of our mind improves and God graces us. And on the path of devotion, it has to happen. It will happen. Good question though, Arti. I hope I answered part of your question at least.
Beautiful answer. I hope she is also satisfied.
Yeah, so you have to do bhakti for that. Do more of Hare Om. Think of more of God, and then see it diminishing over time. Okay, it has to.
Okay, moving on. Next, Falguni ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, Falguni ji.
Radhe Radhe. Nitin ji, I have a small confusion in my mind. Okay, suppose if one is working and there are two people who are working on some project or something like that, and one person, someone like me who would be very honest, delegate the work, explain what the work has to be done, and then say, okay, you have to do this work in so many days. The other person is a little manipulative, sweet talking, and so on. So what happens is that my work doesn't get done and the other person's work gets done. So then is it, but my nature is such that I cannot do sweet talking and be manipulative. So is it okay to copy the other person to get the work done?
Not necessarily. See, you don't lower your standard. And I mean, you don't have to become manipulative to get job done always, right? People see through it. Even with your work ethic, you can get stuff done, and people over time, they get sorted out, right? Who are of this nature. So I don't see a reason why you need to be manipulative to get your work done. If we act smartly, and see, another thing is that people say about office politics, right? Swamiji said very beautifully, he said people who complain about office politics are the one who don't know how to navigate it. We can smartly navigate that too without really compromising on our values and lowering our standard. So maybe the situation, if you can talk, maybe we can have an offline conversation, I can bring it back to the session as well. Monica ji had asked something similar. So I'd like to understand the context and see what are our options. We can discuss it in our session tomorrow. So put in the feedback tracker, let's talk about it and see what can be done in that situation and why do we feel we have to lower our standard, right? If there is a line, you don't have to rub that line or do something. You can draw a bigger line, right? And same thing, even in office scenarios, we can navigate it without really having to compromise on our values or become like somebody else. Let's talk about that situation. Just put it in the feedback tracker. We can have some offline conversation on this.
Okay. Thank you, Nitinji.
No worries.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay.
In this context,
By the way, today Dayashini is going to sing Gopi Geet. Gopi Geet, can you believe? So please stay tuned. We are going to shift to that now. Let's take the 3 more hands real quick and then we get into our devotional segment after our knowledge segment is over, which typically ends at 10, but sometimes we stretch it to 10:05 as well. Yes.
Just quickly, Shiramya ji said that Tan Jagat mein Man Hari mein for Falguni ji to navigate through.
That is Karam Yoga aspect of it. But yeah, why do we even feel the need or compelled to manipulate somebody, right? What is the compulsion is, I would like to understand there.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhatji, go ahead. Let's give preference to people who are turning on your videos.
Radhe Radhe Prabhatji.
Radhe Radhe. Basically, I just want to add 2 points here. Like when we are talking about controlling the things, like when we are having our mind is going to asking us to eat sweet or some other things, like doing different things. Then 2 things are important. Like one is the awareness, and another is the practice. Like if likewise we used to do fast. So similar way we can also do such things to detach us with other things. It will also help. So I just want to bring these two
Very
points.
true. We can train our mind. Yes, that mind training is the whole thing. And then the more we train our mind, the better friend it becomes of ours. Otherwise, they say mind is a good servant, but a bad master. So training the mind is to make it work the way we want, as opposed to doing things what our mind is telling us, because mind is our biggest enemy right now, right? That enemy who's residing with us and always telling us to do all the wrong things. Mind is like that only. Mind will never give you a recommendation which is good for us. It will give all the bad recommendations to us always, until the quality of the mind is improved. Somebody was asking Swamiji, when was the last time you felt angry? He said his mind, he said he can't recollect that. I was so amazed to hear his answer. He did not get a negative thought for I don't know how many years. How is it possible? Mind is so random. That I'll tell you a joke about mind. Mind can generate anything out of nowhere. And if somebody's mind's quality has become like this, that it cannot generate anything negative or anger thought, just imagine that quality of mind. That has to be at a level, right? Otherwise, we know how our mind goes. Sam, good to see you. Today you are in dark. I don't know, you're a shadow. We can see your shadow today. I don't know what you're up to today. And then Naka Bugoji, we can come to you as well. Go ahead, Sam.
So when we are doing devotion, in the process of devotion itself, will God burn some seeds, or only after full surrender?
No. In the process itself, a lot of seeds will start getting burnt. I had one uncle, he was used to having big problems. Every day, he will not even wait for the night. He will open up a bottle in the middle of the afternoon and go on drinking away to glory till I don't know when. So that is how his routine used to be. And people were so troubled at his home. And when he fell in love with Krishna, bottle and everything evaporated. I said, what happened, uncle? He said, I don't know. He just grew out of it. So seeds were gone.
We see
When
high.
somebody gives him free alcohol, he will not touch it because he just grew out of it. I don't know how that magic happened, but it happened. I've seen so many such examples.
But some people have good samskars. I mean, the level of samskars differ from person to person, right? But in due course of life, person with high standards can also fall down to low standards. Why are burnt seeds coming back again then?
High standards, that means they had not completely burnt the seeds, right? Some trace of that thing was remained. Only God would know that, right? So if people can fall from high level and people can graduate from low level to the high level, that always continues. But if you have to burn the seed, you have to pray for God's grace and work towards it. It will happen. But if you haven't worked for it, then maybe there was a lesson which was still remaining that you failed, because of which you fall down again. It can happen, right? So that is a question for Krishna, and you need to focus on what you can do about it, right? We cannot question why they fall. I mean, they fall, that means they had that lesson pending. Okay.
Can I quickly make announcements?
Yeah, sure. Let's make the announcements and then we can, Preeti ji, last question we can take.
So first of all, for people in Delhi, Gurgaon or nearby areas, there will be satsang of Swamiji. So do not miss out on that opportunity from April 6th to April 12th. The details are there in the link I have shared, which I will share again. That is first thing. And second thing is the family camp, which we have in July, from July 4th to 10th here in Dallas. This is once in a year opportunity to rejuvenate yourself in the presence of Swamiji with amazing events all throughout the 7 days. That's mainly it in terms of announcements. And I've also shared the feedback tracker. So please fill in that. And if any of your questions couldn't be answered, please put them in the feedback tracker. Nitinji will get back to you on that. That's
right. And for the family camp, we have an early bird going on till April 20th. So please check it out. It's a very nominal price for the quality of stuff that you're going to get for a week. So it's till April 20th. Please do check it out. Preeti ji, you had raised her hand, and Naka Bubaji as well. You wanted to say something, Preeti ji?
I don't know if you want to still say something, please raise your hand. Right now, Swati ji has raised hand. Should we take her up?
It's for singing or? Yes,
Preeti,
Preeti, let's hear from Preeti ji.
Yeah, Radhe Radhe Preeti ji, please go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to let you know, Nitinji, that Patanjali Yoga Sutra, Morning Jam, and all these classes have helped me so much that I don't want to name names, but I used to have so much clash with few family members for years, and now the same members are here and the same thing is there, but it has zero effect on me, and there is not one thing going on that's quarrelsome in the family, which is, there's like a huge difference, because Swamiji said the root cause is expectation. So I stopped having any expectation from other people, and that freed me up so much that I have extremely peaceful surrounding now. It's the same situation, which is so amazing that all this is so helpful in practical day-to-day life. So I just wanted to applaud you for what you're doing. It's phenomenal how it's affecting the mind in so many positive ways. So sometimes you said it's dormant, but the more and more you throw positive things like this, the less and less those seeds become prominent, because you're constantly feeding yourself with these positive thoughts. Satsang, Swamiji said sastang, seva, and sadhana. So I agree with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Preeti ji. Thank you for sharing your experience. And see, God wants us to succeed. He will burn it, but he will keep on checking our intent around it, right? He's willing to burn it for us, but we are the only one who can negate that or undermine that effort because of our free will. If we continue to work on ourselves, there's no reason why those seeds will come back again, right? And if they're coming back, that means there was some lack on our side, not because God basically there was some shortcoming in his grace, but because of lack of our intent or something that was still missing, because of which we again fell down. Great. So over to you, Swati ji. You wanted to sing. We have Deyashini. She wanted to sing as well. So, or is there a question? Maybe the last one, and then we move on to the devotional segment. I'm really waiting for that Gopi Geet because it's so melodious. Swati ji, you wanted to sing today?
No, Radhe Radhe. I just wanted to share my experience. I'll not take more than 1 minute. Just tell about what I have experienced. What happened now, since 1 month, we are just traveling. We are thinking of going somewhere else. And then we going out of India, Switzerland and all. So since 1 month, that topic is discussed in the house, where to go, how to roam, how to go to Paris, and that all where to live. So I am not able to get my mind to the God. Like it's going there only, whatever they are asking my question, full day I'm thinking about that. So I was like, oh, I'm missing my sadhana, and I'm not able to focus more on God, and it's going more over to the worldly thing. Then I was trying to struggle with that. No, I don't want to think about this, but that was not going out of the mind. Then I said, okay, this will not work. I'm going with Krishna. I'm going to see the nature, whatever Krishna has made, and he will be there with me. I want to go and see his creation, whatever he has, this beautiful creation will be beautiful, mountains, maybe nature and all. So then after that, it has like stable, because I'm thinking about God only. I'm taking God with that topic, with wherever we are going or what we are thinking, booking the tickets or everything. Like, oh, Krishna will be there with me. Krishna, I will travel here with him. So I will, like in the cruise, I will be sitting with Krishna. So that way, what happened now, that worldly thing has decreased now. Thank you, Radhe Radhe.
Very nice. You can actually go to Mount Alps and think about Krishna there as well. So very nice. You're able to dovetail it and motivate yourself. So the same material thing then becomes spiritual at that point, right? So you've taken the material aspect of it. Beautiful. Very nice example. Mahi, you wanted to sing, or there's a question? Because if there's a question, you can put it in feedback tracker. We are already over time, and I wanted to give opportunity to Deyashini.
So Mahi ji also had shared a bhajan video that she wanted to be shared in the class, but I'm not sure if this is regarding that, so I'll just unmute her. Radhe Radhe Mahi ji.
Yes, I want to just, you should share the song, bhajan.
Sure. So first let's have Deyashini, and then we can look at that as well. So go ahead, Deyashini, all yours now.
Just a minute. Yeah, Radhe Radhe Deyashini, I will start sharing your presentation.
Radhe Radhe.
Just give me now.
So Dyashini is going to take us to Bhagavatam Canto 10 today. So let's have the ears to her beautiful melodious singing now.
Not exactly singing, but it will be followed by translation and the meaning also.
Meaning and
But
meaning.
and the thing is that actually I have shared this presentation in Vedic philosophy class also. So if any one of you are common, like you have attended the class on that day, I know maybe Sam ji and Jyoti ji and like that, please forgive me because this is so wonderful that I want to share it again with this class. So thank you so much for the opportunity, Nitin Bhaiya, Sandhya Di, and each and every one. And actually, as you can like by the name, you can understand that this is Gopi Geet. So let me give you a short introduction of about it. So basically, there are 19 slokas. Actually, Gopis sang a lot of songs and like there were almost 1,000 songs, I think. Yes. So, but only 19 is present. 19 like shlokas or 19 songs are presented in front of us in the Bhagavat. And it is in a Kanak Manjari chand or rhythm. So basically, Kanak Manjari is a seed of the Dhatura flower. So if anyone consumes that, they really become intoxicated. So you should not like consume the Kanak Manjari, I mean material Kanak Manjari, but you can definitely consume this Kanak Manjari chand of Gopi so that you can be full of love with Krishna. And as you know that the Gopis are also acharyas or like mentor or teacher of love. So we should definitely hear this. And it is in the 10th canto of Bhagavat. And basically the 10th canto is the heart of Sri Krishna. And then out of 10th canto, there are like 5 chapters. It consists of 90 chapters, and out of that 5 chapters are like 29 to 33. That is Ras Panchadhyayi, or we can say it is the life force or prana of Bhagavat. So it is the prana of Krishna. So this is how highly elevated the Gopi Geet is. And these Ras Panchadhyayis are basically the peacock feather on the crown. So, okay, peacock feather on the crown of Krishna. So you can understand how importance Krishna gives to Gopi Geet. And that is it. So we can definitely make our hearts pure by listening to it. And please try to listen to it attentively. I am sure you will love it. And I am very sorry, please forgive me, because each and every shlokas, Swamiji explained it in like 30 minutes and sometimes more than 30 minutes lecture. So it depends. But so I will definitely not. So next slide, please. All right, so I would request all of you to close your eyes and experience this bliss which was sung by Gopis. And let us imagine ourselves in the Kunj as a Gopi, who by the grace of Hari Guru is able to participate in the Gopi Geet and listen to it attentively. So I just request you to close your eyes and you will be like, feeling the bliss. Okay, so let's start. And also, please forgive the background noise. Jayati Teidhikam Janmana Brajaha Shrayata Indira Shashvadatrahi Dait Drishyata Dikshutavakas Tvai Dhrito Swabahas Tvanvichimbati. Translation: Braj is more victorious by your birth. May Indira take refuge here forever. O beloved, look in all directions. The breaths that hold you are searching for you. The meaning of the gopis: oh dear, due to your birth, the glory of Braj is greater than Vaikuntha and other worlds. That's why the goddess of beauty and softness, Lakshmi Devi, leaving her abode Vaikuntha, had started living here continuously, serving it. But oh dear, look at your gopis who have dedicated their life at your feet. They are searching for you by being lost and wandering in every forest. Next slide, please. Shardudasai sadhu jatasai sarasidu judarahai simushadishai Surathnasati Shukladasika Varadanighnatu Nehakim Vada. Translation: in the autumn moon, the beautiful lotus born instantly lake. O Lord of pleasures, O bestower of boons, what is the use of killing your maid servant for a fee? Gopis meant, O Lord of our loving heart, we are your priceless maids. You have injured us with your eyes that steal the beauty of lotus born under the moonlight from the beautiful autumn pond. O God, you also have fulfilled our wishes. Killing with the weapons is slaughter, but killing with eyes is not a slaughter. Next slide, please. Vishalajapyaya Vyalarakshasa Varashamaruta Vaidyutanala Vrishamayatmajan Vishvatubhayad Rishabhatyevayam Rakshitamuhu. Translation: from the poisonous water, from the serpent monsters, from the rain, wind, from the lightning fire, you have repeatedly protected us from all fears. Gopis meant, O Purusha Shiromani, you have repeatedly protected us from all kinds of fears on occasion, like death from the poisonous water of Yamunaji, death eating in front of Ajgar snake Aghasura, Indra's rain, storm, from different lightning, fire, Vrishabhasura, Vyomasura. You have protected us each and every moment, again and again. Next slide, please. Na khalu gopika nandano bhavan akhila dehina antaratmadre vikhan sarkito Vishwaguptaye Sakhodeva Satvatankule. Translation: indeed, O Nandana of the cowherd woman, you are the innermost seer of all embodied beings. A friend who was asked to descend for the protection of the universe arose in the family of Sattvas, meaning, O Supreme Friend, you are not only son of Yashoda, dwelling in the hearts of all embodied beings, you are the witness. You are the innermost supreme soul. You have descended in this world to protect it by the prayer of Brahmaji. All right. So this was the 4 slokas, and to watch more of Gopi Geet series and like relish the nectar of these types of similar divine leelas and other topics also, there are you have to subscribe to the Swami Mukundananda exclusive platform, and not just that, you will also get a live interaction. All right. So thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to present. Thank you so much, Nitin Bhaiya, and also Sandhya Didi and everyone.
Thank you, Diyashini. That was so melodious, so devotional, so beautiful. You know, you took us to a different world altogether. We just had to close our eyes and flow along with it. Loved it. And Gopi Geet is, you know, if you can pull it off, nothing like it. Beautiful. Very, very nice. You should do it more frequently. Okay, this Gopi Geet and your narration recitation was spot on. Loved it. After Swamiji, I think I've heard it from you, nobody else, in proper lay, right? How it is meant to be sung. So very, very nice. Beautiful. All right. So are we good then?
Can I just add one thing? Yeah. I mean, same words, but I also wanted to reiterate, excellent, very beautiful. And also the way you made all of us experience it while sitting at our places was also amazing. And I think I have already started thinking about making reels on this. So let's talk more.
Let's do that. Let's do that.
Yeah, I think we can have a series on this. This will be amazing.
And Diyashini, it's pretty amazing, right? You just started about few months back and you've gotten a hook directly to the core thing. You know, Gopi Geet you have reached. Pretty amazing. Very nice. Not everybody can reach that, right? I mean, it took me so many years and, you know, you've gotten an instant hook to it. Very, very nice. Loved it. Yes, Shambhai, you wanted to say something? I think the next bhajan from Mahiji we can do tomorrow, time permitting. We can just have a quick discussion on this and then what Shyamji and others have to say. And the next one we can do in the next segment.
It's a Radhe. Just wanted to add one thing that to Modika, just want to tell you that Diyashini is, I'm part of her group. She is in my group. I am her group. So just want to tell her. And Diyashini, I'm so proud, so blessed to be with you. Thank you so much. The way you sing, the way your bhavs, the way you push me, it's really, truly tremendous. Modika ji, this is for you. Diyashini, all yours. Thank you. Radhe. Just kidding. Please don't mind. Thank you. Radhe.
Thank you for turning on your video, Payal ji. You wanted to sing as well today? After long, we are seeing you. Payal ji is in meditative state right now.
No, I guess that's her DP. Is that a video or that's the DP?
That's her DP? Okay, I thought she's gone into meditative state. Okay. No, I wouldn't have been surprised with Diyashini, the way she sang. Pretty amazing. Yes, Monica ji, you wanted to add, you wanted to return the favor to return the compliment to Shyamji.
Monica ji also said it in the chat. Diyashini sabki hai.
Yeah.
Okay, Diyashini also wants to say something, so I'll unmute both of them at the same time.
Both of you.
I want to say first. श्याम जी, दयाश्री जी सबकी है, मैं not in competition, ठीक है? Presentation में आपकी होंगी, otherwise वो सबकी है, so not counted.
See, you look out for the next set of team assignments that we are going to do. So we need to make it a little more interesting for all the teams now. Excitement, more competition, more divine stress.
And
Yes,
I've received so many. Yeah, Dayasini, go ahead.
नहीं, I was just going to tell Sham Bhaiya ki, wow, what an open challenge to Monica ji. and and also
Challenge
one thing,
not
I can add
accepted. आप
5
सबके
points,
हो.
right?
हाँ सबकी है
I
ये
can add
सबकी.
5 points not to my team.
5.
So this real idea is wonderful, actually. So Shamji, you're going to get a lot of points for sure. It's going to be an amazing if we can do something on Gopi Geet.
Actually, I have some thought in my mind already. So Dhyasini, let's catch up after this.
You have thought it, then it will get done. Okay. That is we have some
Okay, there are so many messages in the chat that had come to appreciate what Dhyasini did. So I can't read them all, but there's lots of love and appreciation coming your way, Dhyasini. So thank you once again. Monica ji still wants to say something, it seems.
And Mahiji,
Do
if you're
you?
still
No,
there,
I'm done.
Mahiji, let's give her the first priority in our next segment, okay? Because we couldn't take
Yeah,
her.
actually, she has been asking me since couple of sessions now. It's a bhajan video that she wants me to share. So we can share it next class whenever
Let's do
possible.
it next class as the first priority, okay, for her.
Yeah.
Yes, Monica ji.
Monica ji, do you have anything? I think Golab ji now just wants to say something.
Yes, Golab ji.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe
Radhe
Radhe.
Radhe. Radhe Radhe. Nakati Kutina Manahari and Guruji and everyone. To very very thanks to all. I would add 2 lines only in today's session. Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Gopi Jaya Mukuta Mani Jaya Vrindavan Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Gopi Jaya Jaya Shri Mukutamani Jaya Gopi Jaya. Thank you so much to all. Radhe Radhe.
Thank you, Golab ji. Radhe Radhe. Thank you very much. Thank you for squeezing in a couple of lines that you wanted to sing. So very nice. Mahiji, you get the first preference tomorrow. So Radhe Radhe, thank you everybody for a very enthusiastic participation and capping off with a very beautiful melodious Gopi Geet and bhajan that we had. So I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Radhe Radhe, stay blessed and have a good rest of your evening and rest of your day. Thank you from my side. Good night.
Thank you so much, Radhe Radhe. Have a blessed day and night. See you all tomorrow.
See you all tomorrow.